I was born at 715 East Kimberley Avenue in 1923 in the back bedroom of my mother's house. I had a friend by the name of Fred Dreesen, who was going to get drafted, and he figured in the Army. He was a year older than me. And he said, Art, he said, I don't want to go to the Army. Why don't you and I join the Navy? Well, I said, I'm only 18, so I have to ask my dad. We're considered minors at years ago. So I asked my dad. He really didn't appreciate me going to service. My one brother went in 2 weeks before me. So he said, well, it's up to you. So we had to go to Green Bay is where we enlisted at. And from there I went to Great Lakes for regular training plus torpedo school. And then from torpedo school, I was transferred because of being in the top of the class to San Diego for advanced torpedo. And then from there, I was assigned the USS Brain that was being built in Bath, Maine, and commissioned in Boston, Massachusetts. And from after our shakedown, we call them training, in the Atlantic, we went Pacific. And we went to Hawaii. And from Hawaii, we made the raid on Wake Island with the carrier forces. And then we returned to Hawaii, and we went to Samoa, transporting some ships down there. And then we were sent down to just below Guadalcanal. And there was a little base there where our squadron, two squadron of destroyers were in there, plus the cruisers. And we worked out of that area, invaded up through the Bougainville area, and then with a destroyer squadron, we went into the largest Jap base in the South Pacific besides Truk. And we went in there on a real dirty night. And I had to go up St. George Channel, but they had made us all go to church first, which seemed kind of fishy. Why are we going on a trip and we have to go to church? Because we were not really able to, we had no priests or ministers and that on our destroyers. Well, we went in there, and between all of us destroyers, ours alone put 550 5-inch shells in, and we destroyed the Jap base. And then we moved out of the Pacific, and we went up, and 2 days, which would have been around the 14th of June, 1944, we went up to Saipan, Tinian, tried to knock out landing barges, and the shore batteries got us. And they put a 4.7, approximately a 5-inch shell, about 8 to 10 foot behind me, which killed 3 of them and wounded 15. Well, we got out of there, Then we hung around for the invasion. We did shore bombarding. And then we had the sea battle that came in, the big turkey shoot. So we stayed with it for that, with the big fleet then. And then we had to go back to the States to get repaired. So we went back, but we only had about 6 days that we could make it, 5 days at home. And then we went back out it.
What'd you do with those 5 days?
Went and saw Marge, my girlfriend. And then...
You remember those days, huh?
Oh, yeah, yeah. And then from there, we went back, and we went to a small island where the ships were being assembled. And I made 2 more invasions in the Philippines. And then that is when the Japs really started suicide planning, because we were fortunate. The first one I ever saw took the ship next to us, the 585, the Harridan. I can always remember that number. And when we got back from there, we went and got prepared for another invasion, which was in Mindoro. Then we went back to the base again, and a transfer come in for a second-class torpedoman. And I was the second-class oldest one, so I took the transfer, which was a lucky transfer because my ship went on to Okinawa, and on Easter Sunday morning, it took 2 suicides, and one of the suicide bombers hit under my torpedo tube. So I always said I was lucky, because they missed me with torpedoes December 3rd of 43, missed 3 times that night. We were bombed and everything, and we were always lucky till the end. But it was the worst hit ship for casualties, because it took 2 suicide planes. And after the war, I looked up all the...
I'm sorry, Art, just which destroyer was that on?
USS Brain.
It was the Brain again.
Yeah.
Oh, right, because you had the repairs and you
I
came
went back
Okay,
and got the... Yeah, and I never see it. And then the war was over. So when my time was up, I went back.
Came right back to Wisconsin.
I went back to Cambridge, yeah.
Yeah, wanted to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. But the wife and I, we got married, had 6 children, and she always took care of the kids. And I worked in California, I worked in Texas, I worked in Ohio 5 months. And so at the end, I said to her, well, we're 52. I said, I think we ought to quit. They're going to sell the place anyhow. And that's what we did.
Yeah. So it's been a wonderful life.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I had a good life.
Yeah. Did the Navy shape the person you are today?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
I won't say that, no.
No, okay.
No.
Do you consider yourself a hero?
No.
You know others do.
No, no. It's just, to me, it sounds funny, but I think everybody, when they hit 18, every man should have to have 2 years of service. That would be the best thing that could happen.
Why?
A lot of them agree with me.
But why? Why do you think that?
I think you get good training and you get to know you got a boss.
So it's not so much about defending the country as much as it is learning how to be a good person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I have to ask you though, back when you were 18
Yeah,
and you're training for torpedoes,
yeah.
so you knew you were going to be in danger.
I was gonna be what?
In danger.
Well, yeah, I suppose. I can honestly say it never bothered me. No. And we had our torpedo gang. We were no close knit. After the war, I found most of them. I spent years and years looking for them. They came to my house. I went to their house. We had sailor reunions, which my wife really enjoyed. So,
And your specific job was?
well, I started out as a helper, but then I was picked to be a foreman. And I was a foreman for approximately 19 years
Wow. All at Kimberly-Clark?
at Kimberly-Clark.
Wow, good for you. In the Navy, what was your official title? What do they call you?
I was second-class torpedoman.
Second class torpedoman.
Yes.
Okay, just
I
want to make
turned
sure.
I
'cause
turned
wanna
down
get that wrong.
first class
Why?
to come back to the States. That was the best thing I ever did. $12 a month I lost.
Wow, that's incredible. That's a different time.
But it saved my life.
Yeah. Having survived World War II, seeing the worst in people, the best in people, our current world situation, concerns about peace all over the world. Do you have any insight to offer?
Me?
Yeah.
Have we got anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, unity. Get together. Be normal. And it's for the government, Congress, and the Senate. To me, it's one of the worst things I ever saw.
What's happened to the military?
What happened to the Congress and to the
Oh,
senators.
okay, understood. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. You're not happy with what the government is doing
No.
with the military.
I think it's well with the military, but also with the people.
Okay. Oh, so yeah, so here you fought for your country and you don't like what the government is doing.
No. And to me, I can't see any improvement. But you got to, like I always say, you always got to give everybody a chance.
Yeah. Anything I didn't ask you that you feel is important to mention?
No.
I mean, what would be the biggest battle you were involved in?
The biggest?
Yeah. And do they call them battles when it's on the water?
Yeah, it's,
Okay,
yeah.
all
Well, that would be your Saipantinian, because we buried dead off of Guadalcanal between Saipantinian. But quite all of the dead on our ship, they were all buried at sea. Yeah.
Okay. If you could say that one more time, what was that? All the ships were buried at sea?
No.
Oh, okay.
But if you were hit like out while you were on an invasion, then there was no place but to bury on sea. Now, Army and everything, and Marines and that, and even Air Force were buried on islands.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they could be recovered and returned to the States. But maybe if you were on, like when we got in Saipantinian, they knew the invasion was coming and the sea battle and everything. So then they bury you at sea.